the movement, why we call it a movement, I understood that it's not only about me. Hence, also our logo is it's a map of our country. We wanted to do something meaningful for our country.
You were previously in the corporate industry. How was that experience for you, and what actually drove you to leave?
The cars got repossessed.
Oh my
you lose
gosh.
a lot of things. You even lose your loved ones, the relationship, because now you get to a point where your partner says, no, I mean, this guy's not serious. I remember I lost this other partner and said, she might not accept it. What did he take? I think also what influenced the entrepreneur thing on corporate was a lot of red tapes. If I can lose both parents, I mean, what's the house, what's the car? I also like to say it helped me build a good relationship with pain.
That is so powerful for entrepreneurship. Do you think now you embrace pain better?
It doesn't stop, it doesn't end. It's a continuous thing, especially when you're trying to scale a business. So sometimes we think customers will just support us because we are local. I've seen it and I felt it's not only it, we need to do more.
It's not sustainable.
It's not.
Because
Absolutely.
they could support you because you're black, but they might only buy from you once and never come back again. And
Exactly.
You need recurring business. Hello, Resonate community, and welcome to the best and the biggest sales and entrepreneurship podcast in the whole wide world. It is never a podcast episode until I tell you guys how excited I am, because the people we have on this podcast, if you're on my Instagram, I shared that I need you to schedule every single Monday at 6 p.m. so we can meet on YouTube, because the guests we have lined up to wrap up the year are going to be mind-blowing. And today, I'm joined by a gentleman who has such a colorful journey in business, but particularly has ventured into a footwear business that I want to hear all about, and that I know you and I are going to learn so many things. Welcome to the Resonate podcast, Mr. Monosi Kotsoe.
Thank you.
Did I pronounce it correctly?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
The owner, the founder of Monosi Movement, which you guys are ventured into footwear right now. Interesting. I'm so interested to chat to you because there's so much happening with the footwear industry, particularly in South Africa. And I know you're somebody who's been running for a couple of years and are now starting to come up and boom. But before we get into the business things, we do a fire round of questions so we can get to know who Monosi is. And I've got two questions for you that I want us to start with. So the first one would be the famous one. What do you look forward to every single morning?
Oh, that question. That question. To be honest with you, if I have to think deep and be honest as well,
Yes.
I think just a brand new morning, brand new sunshine, because I feel like it gives me that new opportunity to try again, just to try again, because of this entrepreneur journey is so hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard and difficult. So sleeping at night, waking up in the morning, you feel like, you know what, you're starting from zero.
Yeah.
To fix the previous mistakes
Yeah.
and all that. And so, hence when I wake up in the morning, the first thing is I stand in the sun and I do my other rituals, obviously, walking barefoot and all that. So basically just accepted that, looking forward for a brand new day to start again.
Oh, I like that. The Bible says there may be pain in the night, but there's joy in the morning. It's like you get to just, there's freshness
You recharge
in the
like,
morning. That's interesting. I like that.
That's,
If you were to create any holiday, a day dedicated to a specific holiday, what would it be and why?
Sure, holiday. Never thought of that. Very good question. A holiday, I think it will be more of, I think maybe it exists already or not, but a day for love, family, where we can fix our historical things. I feel like that day, not just to celebrate the bride, the drinks, but to try to fix the issues that we had in our families historically, like that special day to say, you know what, my uncle, my granny, let's sit here, let's have a conversation, let's speak.
Oh, that is such an interesting holiday. I'd imagine it would need like a therapist per family to guide the conversations.
Yeah, something like that. And I think it will help to say, you know what, we are on the same level now. You are not a uncle, I'm not a child. Can I open up and be honest? And yeah, the approach, I think, the like how you've mentioned, the therapist will help to such a way that it mustn't be of a fight or trying to blame,
Yeah.
but the whole aim is to try to forgive so that we can move forward. And the reason why I'm saying that, honestly, obviously we'll touch on it as we speak about my entrepreneur journey. You realize a lot of us, we have a lot of history in terms of things that we have, and sometimes we don't realize that we have
Yeah.
a lot of them, honestly. And that was one of my things that actually is helping me in my personal life and in business, because of I had to go back. I had to really go back, and I realized, wow, I thought I'm fine. I thought especially because I'm a guy, you know, you have to
Yeah.
get tough. But yeah, so I think that day will really be meaningful for the structure of the family, for the growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think,
I am so interested in what you just said, and my follow-up question to you was, have you had a defining moment like that, where you had a conversation with somebody that set you free, and would you be open enough to bring us into that conversation? Because like, I like what you said, that as you grow, things unravel.
Yeah.
And if you want to, I always say to people, if you really want to know who you truly are, be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It will open up all your
True.
scars and
Yeah.
everything about you, where, like you're saying, you think you're fine, and then you realize, no, I'm not. This happened, it was traumatic, and now it affects the way that I show up.
Yeah.
Now it affects how I think about money.
Yeah.
Now it affects my self-image.
Yeah.
People aren't entrepreneurs, and people don't start businesses based on their self-image because of something that happened to them in the past. So I'd be interested to know if that is something you would be open to share
No,
with us.
definitely. Even though I might not be ready to say much, but there's many experiences.
Yeah.
And through my journey, I had to stop and pause. And by the way, maybe let me just highlight why I had to maybe go that route.
Yeah.
The name Monosi it was my grandfather's name. So it's my name as well. So when I started this business, I started many other business previously. So I needed to do something meaningful. So I knew that if I can put his name on this thing, I'll make sure that his name doesn't go in vain. So that's one of the things. So I had to go back historical to check how I grew up, where my family structure, my family tree, and all that. And it's funny, I think 2023, I had to go back. I was born here in South Africa. I'm a Tswana guy.
Okay.
My family is from Rustenburg, but my mother and father were from Mabopane, Pretoria. The reason why I mentioned those things, that I had to go back to see, and I realized, oh, my great-great-grand, I'm from Botswana. I found myself last year driving to Botswana.
Interesting.
Kanye in Botswana to find out what's really happening, and fast forward there, chatting with my aunt, chatting with my uncles, and because I no longer have both parents, so I needed to dive deep just to understand. And you can imagine why it's not an easy journey, because of those uncles, those aunts, when you try to touch on certain topics, they think maybe you are approaching it trying to find out what happened, who did what wrong. But from my side, luckily by the grace of God, my approach wasn't about who did what wrong or what. It was about how can I understand both sides for me to heal. And especially when you grow up as a guy like me, I mean, I've got children.
Yeah.
You realize that you are not a perfect human being. You are making a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
You can't be a perfect father, a perfect brother, or then now you start realizing why, for example, your parents did things that they did. It was tough for them. So you find forgiveness for them, for everyone else, and it's for you, and you find healing. And for me now with Monosi, it becomes meaningful, and especially because the movement, why we call it a movement, I understood that it's not only about me. Hence also our logo is it's a map of our country. We wanted to do something meaningful for our country. And I also realized, you know what, it's not just about the country, it's not just about Monosi, it's a movement of the people. I cannot do it without the people, so it's a movement. So it can be many parts of the movement. So all these journeys is a movement. It's a movement. So yeah, that's just that, if I can just highlight. But it's been an interesting journey.
Yeah.
And because, like I said, approaching it with the right mindset.
Yeah.
With the right mindset, not to
Yeah.
say what. And I'm free, I'm at peace, I'm enjoying the journey.
Yeah.
And I'm happy.
I'm happy to hear that, because I think as you were explaining, one of the big things that comes to mind is how freeing some conversations can be to you when now you've got clarity, and like you're saying, now the movement has some sort of meaning behind it, and because it's got meaning, how you interact with it now becomes different. It's no longer just that side hustle that I'm putting together, but now it's more like a purpose business that you're running, and that is a very excitement space to be in. So your profile, and just knowing a little bit more about you, says you were previously in the corporate industry.
Yes.
Tell me, how was that experience for you, and what actually drove you to leave?
Okay, if I had to take you through my journey, I've been in corporate for over 12 years, I think. I studied IT, and it happened that I worked in terms of the data side of things of IT,
Yeah.
data analyst, and I worked in research companies, top 5 companies in terms of research, and I've worked in automotive as well. I've worked in advertising as well. So it's been a very interesting journey. During that time, as I was there, obviously, it's funny, Michelle. These things you don't realize as they happen. You don't realize only after you realize. Oh, actually, this was preparing me for all these things. So in hindsight, it's easy for me to say, hooray. It was a very interesting journey of learning a lot of things, and I was privileged to work in medium small companies.
Okay.
And the reason why, in hindsight, I realized because of you get to do a lot of things, you get to be exposed in a lot of things, especially from a data point of view, because you have to integrate many data sets from many departments, finance, all those others. So meaning you get to meet with the stakeholders, and because the companies as well are medium sized, you build a nice relationship with the CEOs as well. So in my previous 4 companies, I've been close with the CEOs.
Nice.
And even now, some of them, they're still my mentors, because
Lovely.
I was fascinated. For some reason, I was fascinated by how they move, how they get to do things, these guys. And yeah, so I was always close with them. And it's been a very grateful journey of learning, but not easy, very painful, because of I've resigned, I don't know how many times. I've worked for overall, in that over 12 years, I think I've worked for about 5 to 6 companies.
Okay.
Resigning left and right. And that's when I've been doing all the other businesses.
I see.
So I've been approaching the business side of things by resigning, taking the provident fund, starting a business, and because...
So you were cashing out your provident fund every time you resigned?
I've been doing that, and crazy. So the cars got repossessed.
Oh my
you lose
gosh.
a lot of things. You even lose your loved ones, the relationship, because now it gets to a point where your partner says, "No, I mean, this guy's not serious here. This one." because some instances you can imagine. I was lucky enough to realize that I wasn't really a corporate guy. I didn't want to grow into corporate, because I believe in IT it's easier to grow because of you can do those smaller certificates, your Microsoft certificates, 3 months, and you grow, you qualified.
Yeah.
So my friends went through those paths, and I was seeing them, getting salary increase, going to other companies and making money, earning 150K, 200K. So the money was there, but for me, I didn't see myself in that route. That's why I didn't really pursue it more, to study more or to what. And I think also what influenced the entrepreneur thing on corporate was a lot of red tapes. Sometimes you see that, but this we can easily do this.
Yeah.
But now we have to do that. That's all those things. And yeah, so it's been a very interesting journey. But I'm forever grateful for it. When I look back, I think it contributed a lot in terms of who I am, because of, obviously, fast forward, when you try to build a very proper business that's scalable, you realize a corporate played an important role.
A big role.
From processes,
Yeah.
from systems,
Yeah.
policy, structure.
Yeah.
And And it helps. I know sometimes we feel like, no, corporate doesn't, but those moments, they really help in future.
I always say that corporate is the training ground if you want to
Yeah.
be an entrepreneur, because you get to really see business for what it is. And you might end up leaving, but you will get a full scope of how to run a business, or sometimes how not to run a business. And you can just learn from that, which is amazing. So, and I think to that testament, it's like people should not leave their jobs to like wait to start a business. I'm so intrigued in the journey where you said you would quit your job, take out your provident fund, and then start a business, and then eventually lose everything. What would be the break within losing everything? Is it now you've spent all your provident funds, but you don't have any income coming in, and now like there's no money to pay the bills? Just take me through that.
So for me, okay, let me just try to be honest. And the reason why every time I mention honest or what, because of, okay, let me just frame a bit. As I was doing my research with this entrepreneurship, you obviously get the guys, they say, no, push this, do this. But as you go deep, things that you experience, it's not really what these guys are saying.
Yeah.
You see? So that's why every time I like to say, okay, let me just be honest. Because I like to be more honest to say,
That's true.
you know what, it's like one of the things that I like saying is like, people will say, no, work hard. Yes, for sure. But no one tells you, Hurry, if you work hard on the wrong thing, you won't make it.
That's true.
So those kind of things. So to your question, I realized this, my risk appetite came after I lose parents. I lost my mother, I think, 2005, lost my dad, I think, 2011. And I had healed, but I realized that in life, you can lose things, you can lose people. If I can lose both parents, I mean, what's the house? What's the car? What's the? So I think unconsciously, I was detaching myself from things. Things to know that, I mean, losing a car, losing a what, for when you value it, for pursuing something that you feel that is meaningful. And that time, obviously, it was money. I wanted money to take care of my family and all. It was about money. So. And being in research helped me as well to be able to see that. But the other side, it looks like there's a lot of money. And also, different journeys as well.
Yeah.
We've got dreams.
Yeah.
I'm a big dreamer. I dream in color, like every day in color. So researching certain things as a child, you know that you want, let me say, the Lamborghinis, you want to stay in city, you want to stay in Hyde Park. And I started researching those things. But when you realize that a house in Stan City is 50 million or Lambo is 4 bar, you realize, sorry, the journey that you are taking, you need to earn. I mean, the installment is 150K. So I realized that the possibilities of me not getting these things are so high. I might not get it.
Yeah.
So it was one of the things. So to your point, my risk appetite was so high. I didn't mind losing things.
Sure.
I didn't mind losing things and going back. So, and also, I think not only that, growing up in a Christian family as well. Grew up in church, so praying a lot. And so the reason why I mentioned that my faith, I have so much belief in life. I'm positive. So I believe in myself. And so those things helped as well, that yes, you might lose now, but you can go back and try to. So it's a numbers game. There it was a number game, calculating to say, what. But during that time, obviously, I speak now, it sounds nice or what, but during that time, it's very stressful.
I mean, imagine.
Your family, they say, brah, why you keep on. When I resigned from Monosi movement, my family were not speaking to me. Like, dude.
Why was that just get a job?
Yeah, you lose relationships. I remember I lost this other partner of me said, Shimano Rixati Teki. What do you take?
More 5 course in Kasi, she can't take.
And you realize sometimes it's I realized also not to blame them because our journeys are different.
That's
as
true.
well. At first I was like, no, you don't see this, picture. No, look at this, guys.
Yeah.
But you realize they also have their journey.
That's
they
true.
Also, so sometimes we shouldn't, and guys, we like doing that. To say just, but later on you realize, no, it's your journey. You needed to take all the sacrifice. It's for you.
Yeah.
When God came and planted that seed, it was for you
That's
alone
true.
to see it. And sometimes, as entrepreneurs, we expect people to see it.
Everyone.
But look this, and they leave you. It's painful, it hurt, and fast forward. That's why I also like to say it helped me build a good relationship with pain.
Phew, that is so powerful for entrepreneurship. That is so powerful for entrepreneurship. Do you think now you embrace pain better?
Better. It doesn't stop, it doesn't end. It's a
Yeah.
continuous thing, especially when you're trying to scale a business. Because dealing with the stress for 50,000 is different dealing with stress with way higher numbers.
Of course.
Way higher employees, way higher. I mean, when you're still running it as a spaza shop, it's fine. The stress level are not bad. But when you start dealing with SARS and Reserve Bank, the game changes.
Yeah, I like that because that drives the point that I've been preaching a lot to say it's important for us to not be judgmental when we see other businesses not do so well because you have no idea.
It's hard.
You can find it easy to manage 20,000 Rand, but you have no idea what it's like to manage 40 million with everything else happening while you're probably dealing with life, stress, and a lot of other things. It's like just learn now and learn from those people so that you don't make the same mistakes.
It's so hard, Michelle. You're so spot on. I always say it's like juggling, life's like juggling many balls at the same time. And the society or even expect you not to drop any balls. And it's impossible. It's impossible because of people just look at business to say, no, you could have done this, and I like to analyze life in a way, and I think maybe it's because of I'm from the data background and IT to say sometimes we don't have enough data to be able to say, you know what, you could have done this. No, you're looking at one side to say, no, you could have done this. You don't know by that time what was happening with my whether romantic relationship, whether parent relationship, whether the economy. There's a lot of data points that normally we don't filter. We're looking at that one. No, you should have, but it's complex. It's so complex, honestly.
I like that. You don't have enough data to make an opinion.
Yeah.
You don't have enough data to even give your opinion and want to enforce it as a fact.
No. And I used to as well. I used to judge people harshly.
Until you learned and you were like,
no. And it's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy. And normally, you realize it's people that are on the other side that are judging harshly.
Of course.
The ones that are on the other side, they know.
Yeah.
No. Actually, no.
It's
You're
not,
doing good.
Yes.
No.
It's not child's play.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. So, very interesting.
Yeah. Okay. I wish we could tell that to the entire Twitter. Like, just don't judge unless you've been there because the pain of different levels is very different to everybody, which is another conversation. So, let's talk about Monosi movements. There's a box in front of me and it's quite colorful from what I see. And you brought us some sneakers and they're quite like it's a different style. Take me through when you were conceptualizing the brand. What was the vision? What was the idea?
Monosi movement. I love it so much. Where do I start? So, like I said, I've been doing many businesses. So I've been selling for the longest time. So with Monosi movement, I started prior to Monosi movement. I was selling sneakers, your Nikes, your other sneakers. I was your DM for other guy.
Only distribute.
I was DM for other guy selling in corporate sneakers and all that. So obviously, as you push hard, you see a gap in the market. And obviously, that time, I think 2018, 2019, I saw the opportunity coming in South Africa in terms of the sneakers. And obviously, with other brands that we know, especially local brands, to say it's possible. Because sometimes you realize we need that. We need that as entrepreneurs or as individuals to say, oh, it's actually possible. So it was a light bulb moment, and lucky for me, I've been selling sneakers anyway. So, and I've mentioned that I'm from a research background.
Yes.
I like researching so much. So I had to dive deep, research a lot, and I realized that I can actually make my own brand. But prior to that, I had to think deep about what problem I'm trying to solve. You know, it's cliche. I know it's cliche, but what problem I'm trying to solve.
But so important.
But it's crucial,
Yeah.
crucial.
Yeah.
Even though when you are doing it that time, it's not clear, it's not in, but if you are pushing towards it, it will redefine itself. So
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is that I saw other players, obviously, that were there. We know them. The other players were there.
Yeah.
But however, I knew that we don't want to be them. Yes, we are inspired by them,
Yeah.
but we don't want to be them. We want to create something meaningful. And like I said, I'm from Pretoria. Pretoria guys, we kind of like, I would like to believe we like things, we know style.
Okay.
So I saw a
Alright.
gap, you know what, it's not just a sneaker, we can be able to
Yeah.
create things for our customers that are really dope, that they can be able to spend their money in. And not only that as well, clothing, we believe that it gives you that confident when you are wearing. I mean, just look at you, how dope you are. I'm sure you feel that
Thank
thing.
you.
You know
Yeah.
what? It gives you exactly that. So when it comes to local brand, also we realize that as much as there's a gap, everyone is coming in trying to push in, but there's also a gap where we feel like customers are not heard to say, you know what, let's do products that can be able to compete on international level, because of ideally, as much as we are saying we are small business, we are competing with them.
That's true.
Well, when customers, they used to buy X, but now we are saying support us local, buy this. But what are we bringing to the table
Yeah.
from the quality point of view, from the design point of view? So all those, so we had to dive deep into that research, international research, to make sure that, oh, what does it? And I don't have a background of design and all that, but I'm a designer of Monosi movement there, and that's what's
Interesting.
fascinating, because
Yeah.
why? As you dive deep to this thing, you realize that you don't need to be an expert in certain things, especially when you want to disrupt the game and change, because now you check that, you mix that with that and all that. So it was more of focusing on the customer
Okay.
to say, how can we make sure that they support us in this local brand? But however, at the same time, not only about us, how can we make sure that our product makes them to thrive in everything they're trying to do, and for confidence, like I mentioned, that when they are wearing local brand, they can feel that thing. Because that time as well, we know local brand, it was just about, it's just a thing, and us as well, the founders of the local brands, I always urge to say we need to be more intentional about these things, because of sometimes we think customers will just support us because we are local. You know, the emotional thing, support local. I've seen it, and I felt it's not only it. We need to do more.
It's not sustainable
It's
as well,
not.
because
Absolutely.
they could support you because you're black, but they might only buy from you once and never come back again. And you need
Exactly.
recurring business.
Absolutely.
And recurring business is created by value.
Absolutely. Exactly that. Hence, from our side, it was the product.
Yeah.
And also the customer service. We realized that also local brands, especially for us people with color, is associated with bad customer service as well. And hence, also based on our strategy, that's why our approach was online in the first 3 years as well. Because why? We felt like from the online point of view, you can be able to serve customers that you don't even see the face. So it's easy to benchmark the standard of high customer service, because of with the physical stores, we know as well, he's wearing a suit, if people, we judge based on how we
There's
see
too
the
many
customers.
variables there.
Exactly. So that as well helped us as well to be able to, and I always refer to this thing to say, I remember on the third year we were having a crisis, obviously, with the sneakers. We didn't have stock, and we did a pre-order, customers paid, there was a whole issue. And there was this customers complaining. And when the stock came, I think it came after a month or so. And because we were obsessed about customer service, I had to drive myself to Mpumalanga to say, you know what, my brother will I make sure it comes today. I drove to Mpumalanga. When I got there, guess what? I get a very small boy. A very small boy. Then that's when that thing I realized to say, you know what? This thing actually of online, it helps, because of regardless of a person on the other side, you'll always give the best customer service.
I like that very, very much. Like I like what you said, that you create a benchmark of the customer service, that you can give it to a 16-year-old,
Yeah.
to a 28-year-old, to a 50-year-old, to a
Yeah.
60-year-old. It's the same standard. Whereas
Absolutely.
sometimes when something is personal, there's too many variables at play, and you also aren't in the store to really kind of see what is going on. So that is such a powerful model. Do you plan on having stores?
We have stores
How
now.
many stores do you guys
Currently, we have 2. So our first store, physical
Interesting.
store, yeah.
Okay.
So the reason why we had to opted for opening a store in our first store is in Newtown Junction,
Right here.
right here.
Very interesting.
We opened it, I think, 2022 December, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Because as much as yes, we want to drive this online thing in, but as a small company, we are not known, so not many people believe as well. Some customers still want to feel and touch the product, and besides that as well, there's a lot of scammers online as well.
Of course.
There's a lot of scammers as well. So we took the risk and opened a store here in Newtown. It was December, just testing the waters. Very challenging, very challenging. Retail is something else. And recently now, I think 1st of September, we've opened our second store in Pretoria.
Nice. Where in Pretoria?
CBD next to Batu. So there's
Okay.
3. There's Batu, there's Monosi, there's Legend Baba.
Oh, that's
Just
nice.
there. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's our second store. And very challenging. Retail is it's lessons. You think you know these things. People just think, oh, you just open a store. You realize it's crazy. There's a lot of things that are going on the background with the retail. But however, I always say, sometimes people will say, have a strategy which is core. That's one of the things I learned, or the strategy or what. But some of the things, it helps to test certain things so that you know and understand this thing. When you say we don't want to go this route, why or what? Because I also like to hear a lot of people just benchmark to say, no, a store is expensive. Yes, definitely store is expensive, but also there's the other side of it as well. There's the other side of it as well that really can help. So our model and strategy is to have not much stores nationwide. 70% we want to focus on online, and we've been intentionally doing so. Hence, on our 3rd year, we didn't waste time. We've built a mobile shopping app for our brand, so you can download our app on all the iOS, all the Android, and shop there, because we were intentional about bringing the customers online. And with my background, I understood the importance of data as well, having data of the customers, all those metrics. It helps as well when we open the physical store as well. We make those informed decisions based on the data as well, to say, oh, are we going here, or is it physical? Are we? So we are more hybrid, 2 stores now, and more online and the app, and we have an amazing team, amazing customers. They've been supporting us. We've been continuously improving our product, because we are obsessed about our customer. Like, honestly, if I'll tell you the story of our sneaker, if we get there, so that you understand that we are intentional about satisfying our customers.
Interesting. I've got several questions for you, and I wanna, you mentioned earlier that obviously when you are online, you've got a benchmark of the customer service, and now that you have 2 stores, how are you bridging the gap so that you're not lagging in this part where people are now having to experience your staff and the people in the stores directly?
No, good question. So because of we started with online, what we've been trying to do and what we've been doing is that to try to build processes so that we can be able to make a standard procedure for customer service.
Powerful.
How does the customer service looks like, whether online or physical? Because of, as much as it's online, physical, there's certain things that works on both. You need to greet the customers, but yes, physically it's more the appearance of our staff and all that. So hence, some of the things now on physical is when we hire as well. That's why we focus on character, the type of people we're trying to hire as well. Do they fit to the culture that we're trying to build? I'm also obsessed with culture as well. I'm obsessed with culture in such a way that, culture is big. We speak, I feel like we speak about a lot of things loosely to say culture, but to actually create it and build it, it's a continuous thing. You never said you're done, and sometimes you shift. You feel like, oh, I wanted this, but now we no longer want this. Especially for us, the founders, because of, I believe I have to live that culture.
Yeah.
It's not something that is there on the wall, the vision, the aim, we do this, integrity, we do this, aim, but we have to live it. We have to experience this. We have to experience it. My employees need to experience it with me before it goes to the customers. Hence, I'm obsessed as well with how we treat each other in the company. How are we, all those things, because of I feel as well the same from the documents, the structures, the processes, but the energy as well, the spirit, that's what it will carry everyone else to our customers as well. So it's deep, man. It's deep. I feel like it's deep. That's why as well we're discussing with a friend of mine the other day, and we feel like this entrepreneurship journey, I feel like it's more spiritual, especially when you feel like it's like for us with Monosi, it's not just a business, it's a gift. So there's a certain way we need to handle it. And so, yeah, it's a very interesting. So to your point, so it's exactly that, and continuous improvement based on the customer's experience as well.
Yeah.
They'll feedback to say, no, I've experienced this, I've experienced that. Then we sit with our meetings with the team as well. Continuous training, continuous communication, continuous building on those processes as well to make sure that we innovate continuously for our customers so that we can give them more value. So very challenging, not easy, straightforward, but we love it.
Yeah.
We love it.
You know, I'm quite intrigued with how you continuously are bouncing off to the idea that you use a lot of research, because we talk to a lot of entrepreneurs or people who want to start businesses, and they say, well, and you say to them, just go research, and they say, well, what do you do? And they think they think people are being facetious or funny when people are saying, go research, go get the data, because I don't think research is taught enough for people. So I want us to get some first-hand information from you. What are the fundamentals of conducting a research? When you advise somebody to go do their research, because I mean, you built a sneaker brand. That means you had to research suppliers. You had to research different suppliers who would be able to give you different features. From there, you had to research about branding. You had to research about packaging. There were so many elements you had to look into before eventually making the final decision. So how do we begin to research? People want to start hair business. People want to start cosmetics. They're like, I want suppliers from China. I want suppliers from Dubai. But it's like, I don't know where to start and where to get them. How do we conduct research?
Okay, let me just rewind a bit. I think, for me personally, I think, and that's why people like to say, no, passion, do what you love. I think that's the start, because of when you in a sector that you really love as well. Obviously, it's not only about love and passion. You have to make sure as well that is there money in the business that you're trying to do? Is it the timing as well? Like, there's a lot of variables as well. So I think that's the starting point as well. And there's deeper things as well. And I think I've touched on that in terms of your personal as well, to say, what type of person are you as well? Can you, like I've mentioned, are you risk taker, your risk appetite and all that? But anyway, so understanding those kind of things and really having interest in the sector that you are trying to pursue, I think that's the start point. Because of the other start point, research, I think is straightforward, and I'm sure you already know the answer. Google, and Googling how. For me, it was just researching. Google, it will give you a lot of result, but for me, I was taking a lot of result, putting it on the document as well, researching different platforms as well. And the reason why I mentioned the importance of, and I think it's also important for every entrepreneur or someone who wants to start a business to try to know yourself. It's not easy, but try to understand yourself, how you are wired, because we are not the same.
That's true.
What works for Michelle might not work for Monosi, and vice versa. So, and the reason why I'm saying that, let me give an example. Research. When you speak about research, maybe some people are good in reading books, but maybe some people are good in visual. Some are good in audio and listening to audio. All those things, it's the same things. Just try to understand how you are wired. Because sometimes people get stuck because everyone say, no, buy books, read books. Yes, but you are not strong there, but maybe visually. Because then now we are living in a world where you can find it on a hard copy, you can find it on podcasts. You guys are doing amazing work with such as well. You find those information as well. There's audio as well. Maybe and deeper on that as well. When you do an audio, understand yourself. Are you good sitting in the house listening to audio, or are you like, for me, I listen to audio books when I'm driving.
I
It
see.
works for me. So all those kind of things. And besides that as well, I think being intentional about the research that you are doing to say, what are you trying to achieve? That's the thing also that I've realized, to say,
Yeah.
you can say read books and all that, but what are you trying to read for? Are you
Yeah.
trying to read to speak that English? Are you trying to read for knowledge? Are you trying to read for, and that's why I feel there's a lot of gap to implement, because it's not easy as well to
Phew.
implement
Yeah.
as well. And for me, it was a interesting journey because of, I learned to be open-minded. I mean, I was a C student. I was in. I don't. I always. I don't. I don't think I'm the brightest. I still don't. I still believe I don't know much, because of, you realize, as much as you think you know, you realize, oh, you know fuck all. You actually know fuck all. So I wasn't a reader myself. But since I started this business, I don't want to lie, I think I've got about over 100. They know on my library now, and what type of books as well. What type of on research, what type of people are you researching on? Because now, as much as there's a lot of information there as well, but filtering to know that which are the ones for you as well. Because of, let me just give an example. Vusi Tembekwayo can work for somebody else, but might not work for somebody else. Or Michelle can work for somebody else, but might not work for somebody else. Because why as well? Human being, we have the mental, I always say, biases of, oh, if the lipstick is not in, what I'm listening is no longer hit the way if I like your makeup or your lipstick. So there's a lot of biases in there as well.
True, yeah.
So understanding what makes you tick
Yeah.
as well, in terms of what you are researching, the people you are researching. Like for me, I like autobiographies in terms of the guys who've built the businesses. I'm more of non-fiction as well, so those type of thing. I'm more YouTube guy. Spend a lot of time on YouTube, and while I'm researching, I'm writing down as well. I'm writing the steps, and now the actionable steps as well, to say, okay, I'm gonna phone, I'm gonna send an email, I'm gonna phone, call, find out about this thing, and research the players that are there as well, the guys that have built as well. Research them. I remember I spend a lot of time on YouTube, and my method as well of researching is that I don't only look at one video. I like to go back. If you are so and so, I go back when you started. Then I pick up a lot of things, because why as well? These guys, when they do interviews and all that, their interviews differs based on the channels, the audience.
Yeah.
So they might not mention certain things there, but when they do a chilled podcast, they might be able to mention certain things, and the interviewer as well. So I like going deeper and understanding, rather than just taking one phrase. And hence my thing, hence I was saying, oh, work hard. No, yes, work hard, it works, but working hard on the wrong thing, it's not, because reality is that there's a lot of people that are really working hard. We know that. But working hard on right things. And how do you know that thing is right as well? Trial and errors, all those things. So to your point, I think deep dive on research, see what works for you, put it down, phone those people, call them, and test things. Whether it's samples, if it's a product, if it's service, test. And you can say obviously check with friends or what, but you're not normally gonna get the result that you want with your close friends, because we know they don't want to hurt you. They'll say, no, this is dope.
Of course. Yeah.
So
Very true. Were you ever scared that the business wouldn't work or people wouldn't buy?
Absolutely. I think this thing, many people like to ask, are you scared or what? You always scared. It doesn't stop. People think it stops or what, but it doesn't stop. It's a continuous thing. It's just a matter of learning how to deal with it. But from my side, I think what helped me is those research, the circle as well.
Yeah.
Realizing the importance of mentors as well, all those things, and also trying to minimize the risks as well, to say, what product am I going for, what service am I going for. I mean, like, choosing a right industry as well is very crucial, because of, yes, you might have this wonderful dream, wonderful idea, but look at South Africa. Is there money there? And sometimes being honest with yourself to say, Ash, it's the product is good, but maybe the timing is wrong, because there's a lot of factors as well. Sometimes the idea is perfectly fine,
Yeah.
but the timing as well.
Yeah.
There's COVID, or maybe there's what, maybe there's that, or maybe the model as well, or maybe you are not right as well. Maybe it's a lesson. It's you're still in a journey to learn certain things.
Yeah.
God is still working on you to learn certain things, and you want that success. So there's many things to this thing. So I don't think you stop and you feel like you no longer get scared and that. But for me, it was minimizing those risks, knowing how to minimize those risks. And I can give examples. I always say the level of entry of the business that you want to do. Understand, does this business require 200,000 or does this business require 5,000? Test what you are trying to do before you go big. Or test and see. Like for us, sneakers, it's culture. In South Africa, it's there. Historically, people need to dress. People need to be dope to get that confidence. And so for us, it was a bit, I wouldn't say easier, because sneaker is a complex one. If you have to ask me if I would do the sneaker, I wouldn't say I'll start with the sneaker, because it's complex.
Interesting.
Yeah. So minimizing those risks in the business that you're trying to get in. So for me, when I resigned, all those resigning previously, I think it was preparing me. So now I was confident. I knew I was doing the numbers. I remember I used to calculate to say, selling, if I can sell 5 sneakers for 1,000 a day, it's 5,000. And now looking at the salary, you realize, actually there's an upside here. And hence the approach of online, because I realized that nationwide, selling 5 sneakers a day, no ways. You can't tell me I can't sell 5 sneakers a day. So when it minimize those things, because of online, you don't need a lot of things. You just start. The Shopify, you just register, you just get a product and all that. So it's a continuous thing. And I wouldn't necessarily say there's one answer to everything as well. With all that information, try to find your path as well. And that it will also make you unique for your customers as well. They'll see that you're really changing the game.
Yeah, sure. Very elaborate. Thank you for that, Monosi. My last question to you is that if you were to leave a message for yourself for the next 5 years, what would you say?
The next 5 years. I don't know. I'll probably just say, bruh, you knew, you did well. You know that it was coming. You know that it was coming. You did very well. And I'm so proud of you. And not only proud of you, I'm proud of the impact you've made in the country, in the people, in the employees, the lives you've touched. I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much. And not you are the best. I don't think even I'm the best, because of some of the things with business. I don't know, Michelle, maybe it's because of I try to be honest with myself with a lot of things to say, like trying to balance that ego. I know we like to say ego, but I also realize that it's important to have ego, but it's also important to know how to balance it.
That's true.
Because doing an entrepreneurship, you need that huge ego to say you believing in something, to say this is gonna sell, or you need that big ego.
That's
but
true.
However, to balance it, to say you not get too arrogant too, because you have to understand that you're serving the customers as well. So those kind of things, and hence I got to be humble enough to understand I don't really think maybe I'm smart, I'm not, or what. Sometimes it's grace as well.
Amen.
It's grace. So it's just that. So I'll just say you were here to serve, you did well, the dream were there. The customers have supported you, and we've made impact on South Africa as a whole. Because I feel like as well it's a thing that we need to do as entrepreneurs. South Africa belongs to all of us. We need to all collectively, entrepreneurs, hold each other and make an impact. And the customers, as much as they are supporting us, we need to make sure that the whole value chain, when we get those monies as well, we reinvest back into the country and build this country. And I think that's what this entrepreneur journey, one of the things that this entrepreneur journey is about. But however, I also realize that our journeys are different and our whys are different. What Monosi's journey is different to another person. We are building businesses for different reasons. Some build for lifestyle, some build to make huge impact for the people. And all of them they are right because of our journeys are different. We just need to hold together, each and everyone, males, females, children, and all those, and we're going to conquer. I believe we're going to conquer. And I believe the reason why we did South Africa first, because we believe we've been receiving internationally. It's time now things, they start them South Africa and be great, and automatically they'll go internationally. And with our experience, with our intention, how we are building Monosi movement, we've seen that. We're focusing on doing things right. A lot of things comes. A lot of partners comes. People come. They do come. Because also we are humble enough also to take feedback, to say, no, here we think what, we check that feedback. Is it? Yeah, so it's just that.
Yeah, sure. Monosi, thank you so much for joining me on this episode. I learned quite a number of things from the things that you were saying, and I think we have no doubt that you're going to build and continue to build a successful business. We're excited for what you guys are about to do, and we can't wait to even see more of the things that you're doing. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Michelle. For some minutes, I felt like we're just somewhere, and that's how sometimes when the energy is aligned, dope things can occur there.
Yeah.
And I believe we just need to
It's like
hold
you forget
tight.
we're sitting in a room with cameras full of people.
I think it was so awesome. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Yeah.
I'm glad. Thank you so much. Oh, Resonate community. I really enjoyed that episode, and I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did, because there's something about entrepreneurs who are building and who are humble enough to be teachable, who are humble enough to say, I'm still learning, I'm still building. Here's what I've learned, and here's what I'm hoping to still learn. And I love what Monosi spoke about, what he would say to himself 5 years from now. It's like, you've done it, because there's so much conviction that the plan that he has right now is definitely going to work out. And even if it doesn't, he's going to find another one that's going to work out. It is going to build a kick butt business. So that really blessed me, and that really spoke to me. So thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you guys in our next episode. Goodbye.